Good evening, guys. Me again. I've been doing quite a lot of videos recently on Lego, as you may have seen. So I thought I would start off just doing a comparison in size between some of the different sets that I've got. If you've been watching the videos the last couple of days, you'll notice that I've been building this little beastie, the old Ecto-1 from Ghostbusters, the brand new model that's featuring in the film that's coming out next year, the brand new Ghostbusters film. It's a little bit different in terms of design from the original Ecto-1. I'll not go into too much detail on this video because there's loads of videos on the internet, but things like the ladder are on the opposite side, some of the roof details are different. I don't know what the story is, but obviously the car was left abandoned in a barn or something, and that's why it ended up with all the rust and what have you on it. There are some screenshots from the movie in the instruction book, and it shows the car looking very much worse for wear. So it'll be interesting when the film comes out to see what the story is behind it. But as you can see, I've lined up the other Creator series ones that I've got. So the Mini, the Beetle, which I've featured before on my channel, showing how I managed to lower it and modify it. The camper van, the Mustang, not a Creator series model, but I've left it in as a size comparison. It's the Dom's Charger from Fast and the Furious, which I only built a couple of nights ago. The Ecto-1, and then just for a size comparison, the Lego Technic Porsche GT3 RS, which I put there at the end. So yeah, as you can see, there's quite a big difference in size as you go up. Obviously you expect the Mini to be quite small. The Beetle and the camper are near enough exactly the same length. Mustang obviously bigger, the Charger's a bigger scale anyway, so that's going to be bigger than the Ecto-1. I think the Ecto-1 is probably a slightly smaller scale than the Mustang, because the Mustang is a relatively small car. The Mustang should really be a bit narrower than that to be in scale to the Cadillac, because the Cadillac and the Mustang are actually the same width as each other, whereas in real life the Cadillac would be quite a lot wider than the Mustang. So really the Mustang's probably too big, or the Cadillac is too small to be in the same scale as the Mustang. I think the Mustang compared to the Mini and the Beetle is about right, but really the Cadillac needed to be probably another 2 or 3, 4 maybe studs wider to be more the scale that the Charger is. And then obviously the Porsche is massively bigger at 1/8 scale. So yeah, an interesting little comparison in size between the different models. Now I just want to talk about some of the details of the new Ecto-1. So I'm going to just pull it forward. You can see the mechanisms on the roof, how they work. Another nice feature is it's got the old hand of God, as they call it, steering on the top. So it's nice to have that. Move it around a little bit so you can steer it with a light on the roof, and you can obviously drive it backwards and forwards, and it's nice to be able to do that. So one thing I think is a shame about the Mustang, because the Mustang doesn't have that. So if you were a child wanting to drive the Mustang around on the floor, it's very difficult because you can only steer it through the window, and then you can't really steer it. You move the steering wheel and it doesn't really do anything. It will if you put both finger and thumb on it, but it's very awkward. You know, really could have done with some kind of hand of God little steering wheel somewhere on it so you could drive it from the outside, but unfortunately it doesn't. But at least the Mustang has steering. The Mini, the Beetle and the camper don't have steering at all. They've got fixed front axles, so you can't even steer them at all. They really are basic in that respect. It would be nice. I have seen videos on YouTube where people have modified them and have added steering, and it is something I've considered doing myself, but I've never brought myself to actually take them to bits to do it. I've never got around to doing it. Obviously the Charger is Technic, so that's got a lot more features in terms of real life features, you know, the suspension and the the piston engine and steering. Now this does have a hand of God steering wheel, little lever on the back there, so you can push it around and steer it, which I think is always a nice feature on the bigger cars. You know, as a child, I would have loved having this model, pushing it around, being able to steer it. I would have had hours of fun with it. Going to the Porsche, that doesn't have it, and it's a real shame because, again, it's probably more of a collector's model to just be built and to sit on a shelf. If you want to drive it around, you just have to like put your fingers through the windows, and the steering is not very easy to turn. And it's not a model that you can really push around and play with as such. It's more a display model showing off the fancy mechanism of the gearbox with the flick controls for changing through the gearbox, etc., changing through the gears. And so yeah, it's a very different type of model. Beautiful model though. I've just given it a wash because it was a bit dusty, so I've just given it a wash. It's still a little bit wet in places. Who else washes their models? Anybody else wash their Lego? Well, it was a bit dusty, and there's no way that you can get inside all these nooks and crannies to give it a dust, so the only way was to put it in the bath and give it a shower. Just done the same to the camper and the Mini, because they were a bit dusty as well. So yeah, so getting on to the Ecto-1 again, I want to go in a bit more detail, showing you around it. Now, one of the features I really like is how well they have designed the overall shape of the car. Sorry about the shaky camera work again, I'm just doing it on my phone as usual. But yeah, I think the front is really striking how they've done it. I love how they've managed to recreate a lot of the traditional Cadillac shape. There's a hair stuck there, just get rid of that. And they've managed to recreate a lot of the shape. How they've done the headlights and the grille, which a lot of people have said is, you know, it's made up of all the little roller skates, which is true. And then you've got the detail of the engine, which I've already showed on a couple of my previous videos, but again you can see with a little Cadillac logo on the top of the cylinder heads. Got the drive belts, alternator probably, and power steering pump, I'm guessing. The battery there with the power cables on the battery, washer fluid, probably like a brake servo, maybe that's a coil for the ignition, big carburetor on top, and the air cleaner. Down this side you've got the obviously the spotlights and the mirrors and the aerial. You've got the opening door at this side. So you can see the detail of the interior. Probably can't see very well on the camera, and I could do with a light actually to shine inside, but it's got a quite nice detailed dashboard, and the steering wheel does turn as you do the steering, which is nice. The door at this side is a dummy door. This one doesn't open because it's got the mechanism for the ejector seat, which pops out the other side. Got the ladder, all the various components up on the roof, the lights, you got the siren there, the sniffer, some gas canisters of some description, and I'll just turn it around so you can see from the back, radar dish and what have you. Move down to the back. I love how they've managed to recreate the shape of the back. These fins and the lights, I think it's really good how they've done it. And I like the way in which the door hinges that way as well. I think it's pretty cool. Again, you can't really see, I need a light really to be able to see the details of the inside, but there's a lot of great detail inside. Now I did show on one of my previous videos the mechanism for the trap ejector, and this is how it works. There you go. So that's the the trapdoor which opens in the boot of the car. You can see how it drops down. Again, I've showed that in a previous video, but this is the little wheeled trap which pops out, and obviously it's a little hint as to something that's going to be in the movie that's out next year. I'm guessing it's some kind of little radio controlled ghost trap, so it'll be quite cool to see the movie and see how that ties in with the story of the film. You just pop that back in through the back door like so, and again you pull the little lever and out it pops. I just think it's a cool little feature, and it's good to be able to show you now that the car is built. I showed you how the mechanism works on a previous video, so if you want to go and have a look at that video, it shows you how the mechanism actually works as I was building the car. Then round on the other side, let's turn it around. You've got the front passenger door which opens just normally. You've got the Stay Puft marshmallows which have fallen onto the floor there. The door mechanism, actually, it's got a one of these, sorry again about the shaky camera, it's got one of these door hinges. You probably can't see it on the camera, but it's the same door hinge design as the one on the Mustang. You've then got the rear door which is rear hinged with the handle at the front instead of at the rear, and the reason for that is to operate the ejector seat. I can't see inside really. Again, I could have done with a light to be able to see inside, but you've got the seat there, there's another seat there, and there's another seat there, so there is actually seating for 3 people in the back. Just get my phone to focus again. There we go. I temporarily lost the focus. But I showed you the ejector seat again on a previous video. I'll just show you now that the car is put together. If I can just find the button. Where is it? There we go. Didn't push it hard enough, but there you go. The ejector seat has popped out of the side, and you then push it back in like that. It actually does it with the door shut as well, so if I can find the button, a bit difficult one-handed. Oops, where is it? Down here somewhere. Let me just find it. There we go. No. Let me just stand my camera so you can see it. And we'll chill. We shall try again. Oh god, this video is very amateurish. I really do apologise, guys. There we go. Let's try again with both hands. It's a bit difficult when I'm holding my camera with one hand and the trying to do it with the other. Right, so here goes. There we go. So you give it a push and the seat pops out, the door flings open, and there we go. So yeah, I need a better kind of camera so that I can do it on a tripod or something, rather than just relying on my mobile. So that's that. I like the details of the inside of the doors as well. It's 3 bricks thick. These are proper doors. Never seen doors on a model that thick, but yeah, 3 bricks thick. So there we go, that's the Ecto-1. If you want me to show you anything else on it, any particular features or anything, just leave in the comments and I'll do another video on anything you want me to show you. So I love the model, I think it's fantastic. I'm just going to put the Mustang directly at the side of it, since that's the next biggest size, just so you can do a size comparison with the Mustang. So yeah, you can see it's quite considerably bigger, quite a big size, and I bet that it's probably twice the length of the Mini. So let's put the Mini next to it by comparison. Here we go. Yeah, I reckon you could easily fit 2 Minis in the length of the Ecto-1. Look at the difference in the size there. That's it's hilarious. Yeah, it is a little bit bigger than the Mini, but then again, it is a great big massive 59 series, sorry, 62 series 1959 Cadillac, so they are quite a big vehicle. So there we go. Alright, cheers guys, see you in the next video. I'm probably gonna do a bit of a review of the other models in more detail, but I'll see. Alright, cheers guys, bye.